Okay, I just wanted to make a video on Goblin Charbelcher because I've had a lot of questions asking about it, how the combo works, why is Recross in the deck, how does Charbelcher kill them even though you are playing lands, um, what does Collected Company do in the side. So this is gonna be a explanation of how it works, of what the deck is doing. So this is my deck list from the 4-1 that we posted initially. The deck has evolved, but I'm going to go off this one because this seemed to be the one that people have watched. So I'll start with Recross the Pass. This is what we get asked about the most. So we have a command in the channel that explains it, but I'll go over it now in detail. So read the card. Reveal cards on top of your library until you reveal a land card. Put that card into play and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. So that means because we have no lands, we get to stack our entire deck that remains in any order that we want. So I will place a Reforge the Soul and then 7 perfect cards beneath it that let me win the game the next turn after I cast Reforge the Soul. Reforge the Soul is the miracle card that if it's the first card revealed, you may cast it for its miracle cost for 1 in a red, and it will wheel both hands. But if you want to play optimally, Tom Ross told me about this. I didn't know until he said, I'm sure other people knew it, but when you do Recross the Pass, and after it reveals, no land. Give me a second. Sorry, I'm blanking right now. When you stack your deck after, usually you put Reforge on top. Put the 7 mana sorcery land on top, the green land, the mythic one, because you will always win the clash and always get Recross the Pass back in your hand. At the bottom is a clash where both players reveal top card library. If you win the clash, you get it back in your hand. It's weird, but if you put that card on top, you have the option to put it top or bottom. So you put it at the bottom, that way you hide that you're putting Reforge on top. Or if for some reason you put Coco on top because different situations, the most optimal thing is to put the 7-drop on top and bottom it. That way you win the clash 99 out of 100 times and you get this card back in your hand, which is advantageous. So this is basically Doomsday on crack. You get to stack your entire deck after you cast it because you have no lands. I think that worked for this card, but that is why I recrossed in the deck, because it's an insane card to cast. Because you'll be able to stack your deck to have the Reforge of Soul, and then you have 4 mana sources, such as 4 Simian Spirit Guides, Rituals with Simian Spirit Guides, and then you want 1 Charbelcher and 1 Ironcrag Feet. That way you have the mana to, from Ironcrag Feet to get 7 mana to play your Charbelcher and activate it. So that's generally what the normal hand is, but when things get complicated, you end up changing up what you do there. Where now, because of people know more about it, you don't just get these free wins, you got to work for them. So I'll do weird things like I will put the Miracle card, and then underneath it, I will put a Veil Summer. But that'll be because I have a Metamorphose in hand. So I can reveal the Miracle card on the stack. They go to counter it. I'll cast the Metamorphose, draw that Veil Summer, and then cast Veil so that my thing doesn't get countered. But that's things you got to think way ahead that I won't go too far into. But I think the deck is very complicated. I don't think it's backbreaking, but it's a very complex deck that is very fun to play, but has a ton of lines. So you work very hard to barely win most of the time. Next card, Shatter Skull Smashing. This is the explanation of why the lands are not lands. With the new set comes these double face cards. In your hand, in your graveyard, in your library, when you look at these, it's always the front side. So these are always sorceries. So people can Thoughtseize or Inquisition this out of your hand. If they were to flicker this land while it's in play, it will go to stay in exile because it can't come back because it's a sorcery. So when we reveal off Charbelcher, we have no lands in our deck because we have these. And these do not count as lands except we're on the battlefield and you play them as your land. So if it's in my hand, there's still whatever the front of the card is. So a sorcery, a creature, instant, but they're not lands. And that is why Recross lets us stack our deck, because we're playing 0 lands, even though we are. So that's why Belcher is now a thing that can be played, which I think is really cool, actually. First day I was a little bit worried, but after playing, I've played probably 10, 11 leagues with it, and it is not a very good deck. It is a very fun deck, a very high skill cap deck, but it will not win games consistently at all because of the interaction it has that people have with you, because people actually know what the deck is now. So they're like, okay, I failed a rune, you're going to lose the land. I Assassin Trophy, you're going to lose the land. People know what the deck is. Day one, no one knew what was happening. They're like, oh, I just died. I had a trophy in my hand I didn't use, and people didn't think to Thoughtseize the lands out of their hand. But that's what the purpose of these double-faced cards is to replace your land drops and let your Charbelcher kill people. Goblin Charbelcher. This is the combo piece, the face of it. Reveal the top of your library until you reveal a land card. Goblin Charbelcher deals damage equal to the number of non-land cards revealed this way to target creature or player. I believe it also hits planeswalkers. I'm not 100% sure. I'll check. But I think this was before they changed the wording on redirection from player to planeswalkers. It would make sense that it's on any target, but I'm not 100% sure. If the revealed land card was a mountain, Goblin Charbelcher deals double that damage instead. Put the revealed card on your bottom of your library in any order. So this also came up was, one, you go through your whole deck because there's no lands. So you deal however many you have in library to them. But after, you also get to stack your entire deck because it says put them in the bottom of your library in any order. So you get another Recross the Pass effect, which is very, very strong. Because if you know that they're going to play, let's say, a Leyline of Sanctity from their hand for some reason, or they have a creature stopping your Goblin Charbelcher, like a Collector Oof, for whatever known reason that they activate after. Say, you get to sorry about that. That you get to activate, but they're not dead. Oh, like Phyrexian Unlife. I deal everything to them. They go to below 0. I'm going to stack my deck now. I'll put Wilt on top, Wilt on top, Wilt on top. Destroy all the enchantments. So that's another fun thing with this, is you get to rearrange your deck after to help you win. Which sometimes against ad nauseam they'll have a couple turns where you just can't kill them, because that's when they'll play a Leyline of Sanctity and you're like, oh crap. Which is why you can board into the Collected Company backdoor combo, which I will talk about in a second. This is the Reforge of Soul, the miracle card, which we put on top of our deck. First card we draw, get our perfect 7 that we sculpted. Collected Company. This is the base of what a lot of people ask about. Why is this in the sideboard? This doesn't make any sense in the Charbelcher deck. The reason why is because you stack your deck to be perfect. You draw your perfect 7, and one of them's Coco, and you're aiming to cast Coco that turn with maybe a Veil of Summer backup. And you've stacked your deck. So below it, the next 6, you have put Thassa's Oracle, which when it enters the battlefield, a trigger goes on the stack. If you have no library, you win the game. If the devotion is equal to or less than the number of cards in your library. And the other combo piece that we're going into is Undercity Informer, which is sack, target player reveals cards from top of their library until they reveal a land card. We have no lands. The entire deck is put into the graveyard. So when you Coco, you get these 2 creatures, and you have 1 mana after. You sack this Undercity Informer with the Thassa's Oracle trigger on the stack. Target yourself. Your whole deck gets milled out. Thassa's Oracle's trigger resolves, and you win the game because you have no library. So the reason why this is good is because it gets around Collector Oof, it gets around Phyrexian Unlife from Ad Nauseam, it gets around people surgicling your Charbelchers, which has happened. It's a backdoor combo that they also the opponent has to get around to beat. Because like when they put in Leyline of Sanctity, and you have this as your backdoor win con, because you go Recross the Pass, stack your deck, go to your next turn, you Reforge a Soul, draw enough cards so you can cast Coco, and have that extra mana to sack with the Undercity Informer and win with Thassa's Oracle on the stack. So that's why we have Coco on the sideboard as a backdoor win con. Some people have strayed away from it. Some people have stuck with it. I really like it. I like it as a backdoor win con or an additional way to win against blue-white control. And if I suspect they have Collector Roof or a Pithing Needle or a Karn. A big thing is a Karn is Coco gets around the Karn, which is a huge, huge deal. And for value, that lets this deck do really well. Valakut Awakening, this card has surprised me. The fact that you don't lose a card as well when you use it, you will your hand, is very, very good. I just wanted to throw that out there that I think this card's amazing. But I hope that helped you figure out or understand the combo a bit more. If you don't, let me know in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. Be sure to follow me, like, subscribe down below. Have a nice day.